Hello YouTube and all ships at sea. This is Steven the Mini Scratcher bringing you yet another high quality video. Yeah, just for you. Okay, yes, I know that you miss seeing my mug in front of the camera, but I have a more important mission for this video. A special request from a friend, alternative artist. I knew I was going to have some issues with my autofocus on this camera, and I tried to blame it on the camera, actually, but it was actually operator error, so I have no one to blame but myself. I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself and say, Stephen, you really must learn how to use the equipment before you use the equipment. And in all honesty, this camera is 10 years old, but, however, I've been using it mostly to take still pictures. I haven't done much video work with this camera, and since this is the only video camera I really have access to, I had to use what was available to me. I'm just not using this camera to its fullest extent, unfortunately. So, alright, and so as a result of the focus issues, in my previous video, you could see my face fairly clearly, but the items here that I was attempting to show you were extremely out of focus. And you want some nice close-up of some details, I understand. Because that's what makes the build, is the details. So, without further ado, first on the list, let's talk about my outhouse. Yes, I think she's lovely. I have one issue, and before anybody else points it out to me, I realize I went overboard with the rust, okay, especially on the inside there. Yeah, but I got cute with the toilet paper roll. I'm kind of proud of that little addition. And as you can see, we do have some greenery, vines growing up the side, and we've got some warped wood and what have you. You know, this outbuilding is showing its age. And as I said in the last video, why would you have so much vegetation around this outbuilding? Well, it's very simple. What goes into the outbuilding, or what comes out of the outbuilding actually? Human waste, which makes a great fertilizer. Therefore, things will grow very nicely. And of course, I apologize for the lighting. I'll get that straightened out one day too. If I can point out to you here, in certain areas like there and there, we got some bird poops. Yeah, even right there and there, bird poops. Sure, this has been outside, outdoors, where birds tend to go poop, so you're going to get bird poop. Yes, I will get the lighting right. Give me a break, will you? Okay, I'm actually quite proud of this roof here. There's rust and bird poop on the roof. The little nail holes in the tin. And I found out something wonderful about this tin. This tin actually came, this corrugated stuff came out of a light bulb package as part of the insulation to keep the light bulb from getting broken. It's basically thin cardstock. But once it receives a few layers of paint, it becomes kind of malleable. And you can actually bend it like metal. So that inspired me to do some little dings and dents here and there. I'll show a little damage from being out in the weather and so forth. Ka-chunk, like right there. So, yeah, I'm rather proud of that whole deal. And yes, I know, I overdid the rust. I plan on correcting that before the model is, or before the diorama is completely finished. So, worry not. Okay, just worry not. Got this well under control. Okay? Alright. Enough about the little outhouse and the little tiny roll of toilet paper. Yes, that toilet paper is clearly superior. Oh, I must warn you, I do go off on some ridiculous voices and accents from time to time. It's simply my nature. I spend a lot of time, by my lonesome, so that's my little way of entertaining myself, and I let that spill over into regular life too, so, be that as it may. Alright, on to the next build here. And this is one that alternative artist was very interested in. And look at this. Can you blame her? Look at this. The craftsmanship, the detail on this. I am so full of myself. I'm actually quite proud of that sculpt because generally I don't do well in sculpting anatomical details. As you can tell by this leg here, I don't like the bend in this. Oh man, this lighting is just killing me here. There, is that a little better? Okay. I don't like the bend, the articulation there in the leg. I couldn't seem to get that right, but I think I got that right there pretty right. The entrails and organs and stuff spilling out of the torso cavity. The one thing I do like about the leg there is, if I can get it to focus right, you can actually see the bone detail there. The tib and fib on the tibia and fibula of the, I think I pronounced that right, of the lower leg, and then the femur of the upper part of the leg. Get in there and get focused. Focus please, and thank you. Come on, I was supposed to have you fixed. There we go. There we go. So you can see that little detail pretty good. And, you know, again, to show the shininess of fresh blood, I used a liberal coat, or actually several liberal coats of clear nail varnish, or nail polish, however you choose to pronounce it, to give it that wet blood look. Of course, that's after several coats and of several different shades of red, ranging from fresh blood red to more the brownish drying blood and general dirt kind of detail. When you're cutting a body apart, it does get a bit mungy. I'm just saying. Alright. Not real proud of the table. It's a little wonky. It's a little unstable. And as I said, I won't be able to use this as part of the diorama anyway, since it is approximately twice the size of the scale for a torso they would actually need. So, yeah, there's that. Alright, next, onto the gut bucket, which is another outsized, out-of-scale product here. I thought it was fairly clever with this bit here, the spill, where it rests on the surface there. Let's get a look at some of the details. And this one was kind of fun for me because the texture in there was actually achieved. I have a habit of using styrofoam plates as my paint palette, and sometimes paint will build up in thick layers. Well, I looked at that and saw some interesting textures in there, so I thought I would use that, and I just basically plugged the top of this container with that texture, just added some things and added some paint, and of course the good glossy clear fingernail polish on top of that. And this actual canister, in some of my later videos, I'm going to talk about procuring different items to use, not just out in the natural world, but things that would normally be discarded anyway. Like this started life as a container for blood glucose test strips, and I'm going to show you another use for that in a later video too. Unfortunately, this thing is just too tall to use. I'm looking into ways of cutting it down without affecting it too much. It's going to be rough. I'm pretty sure I can find a way to do it, because scale-wise, as this stands now, this is about chest high to my bad guy, or will be by the time bad guy's done. So that's just way out of scale. Alright, next is the hanging tree, and I'm going to have to adjust my camera here. Well, let me show you this first. We've got some mossy growth here at the bottom, and let me calm this light down a little bit again so that color will pop out a little bit better. Oh my goodness, I really need a lighting director on this stuff. I really do. Hopefully you can see some of the detail of the moss growing up from the roots into the trunk. And again, this was created with a stick from out of the backyard. Okay, look, we got another detail here of a lightning strike. You can see where it's all kind of burned and charred. You got, I kind of dig this Freddy Krueger-esque kind of texture on here. I've never seen a tree in real life that looks like that, but sometimes you can play around, even trying to be realistic, you can play around with something a little bit different and be able to pull it off, and I'm hoping that's the case with this. And yes, this is a genuine noose, 13 loops. It's wrapped 13 times there at the knot. So if it were full size, it would be illegal in my state and in my country, if I'm not mistaken. So that's fun. But I'm quite proud of this. One stick glued to another stick, and the whole thing coated with what's it called? Spanish moss, coated in very, 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 very thick layers of PVA. For those of you who don't know what Spanish moss looks like, stand by just a second and I will give you an example. If I can find it here in my terrain box. Oh, please tell me it's where I can... Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. I can do this without making a mess. Okay. That is Spanish moss. It has kind of a neutral grayish tan color. This package I bought, it's a rather large package. You can see I barely made a dent in it, even as much as I used on this tree build. I barely made a dent in it. This is 125 cubic inches, or 2 liters worth of Spanish moss. Let's see what it says on the back of the package here. Uses for Spanish moss. Probably not going to be able to read that real well. Soil cover for dish gardens, potted plants, and terrariums. Decorative enhancement on dried and artificial floral arrangements. Foundation cover for professional finish on wreaths and craft projects. For decorative use only, not intended for human or animal consumption. Sure. So, yeah. Very cool. $1. This cost me, this big old bag of stuff cost me $1. And of course it's the same with my reindeer moss. I've used actually quite a bit out of this bag here, but this cost me $1. And I've got more than I'll need for this project, with plenty left over for other projects in the future. Okay. And, yes, in other news, wait, I'll save that for another video. I'll save that for another video. So, and I'll give you a little preview of something here. I'm going to give you 2 previews for the next upcoming videos. These are my shrubberies. And yes, I know they're rather monochromatic, and there is a reason for that, and that will be explained in a later video. But I'm rather proud of these. This is actually reindeer moss, painted and treated, and sprinkled fairly liberally with actually fine ground tobacco. And I'll show you how that process works here in an upcoming video. And preview number 2, I've found several online videos on how to grind your own foam for clump foliage, scatter, and things of that nature. Well, I found a way to get even finer. The directions I followed were from Viv at Rubbish In, Rubbish Out YouTube channel, and I had a sudden inspiration. I don't know if you'll be able to tell this, but there is a big difference in the grind here between the fine stuff here and the medium grind. The medium grind I got using strictly the directions that I got from Rubbish In, Rubbish Out. And my little idea, well, we'll save that for next time. That'll keep you coming back. Oh, alright, that's enough of my yakking. Thanks once again, folks, for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you like the video, throw a like up. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll push out another video as soon as I can. But thanks again for watching, and everyone out there, please take care and be well.